Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, a look into a new app that is telling students where to go party.
And a Holocaust survivor visits Quinnipiac. Find out why and hear from her. Plus, a look into why one major at Quinnipiac is switching schools.
All this and more on the Q30 Newscast.
Live from the Ed McMahon Center, this is the Q30 News Nightcast.
Good evening, Quinnipiac, and welcome to the Q30 Newscast presented by Joya Spa and Salon. I'm Taylor Popielarz.
And I'm Liv Dufault. Are you ever wondering what your friends are doing for the night? Over 900 universities are using a new app that lets you see who is going out and where you should be headed.
So, who is going out? Stephanie Fasano has the latest.
Group chats and Facebook events are one way of seeing what your friends are doing for the weekend. But a new app can make planning your nights easier.
I wanted to kind of create something that basically put all of people in the same school together.
CEO and founder of WiGo, Ben Kaplan, launched the app in late August. He wants to create a new way to rally your friends together. If 500 students download the app, then it will unlock for the university.
Once enough people were on it, it's kind of just become part of, how you make plans.
Only college students with a .edu email can download the app. They also must have a valid Facebook account. Then users can see where to go and make their own locations. We sat down with QU's field marketing representative, Jason Magner, to find out where students are going.
People will be going to Anshi's, they'll be going to Dick's, where your friends are going, and you can tap. It's called tapping.
Tapping is when a user can select someone's profile. This means they want to see them out.
With social media, it's kind of all about funny and flirtatious ways to communicate.
WiGo also takes pride in the limited access to the app. It allows its users to self-police the network.
On anyone's profile, if someone appears, that doesn't look like they go to your school or they look a little too old, you just go to the corner of their profile and click report.
This means no sketchy randos, no administration, and no parents.
Quinnipiac is one of the most active users for WiGo. It has almost 1,000 users.
Kaplan adds WiGo will be including a new feature soon that will enhance the going out experience.
Think about Snapchat My Story, but geared towards specific events at your school.
I'm Stephanie Fasano, Q30 News.
Quinnipiac students and faculty were able to hear from a Holocaust survivor on November 6th. Anita Shore spoke at the Frank H. Netter Medical School about her experiences surviving the Holocaust and described what life was like in a German concentration camp during World War II. Shore took questions from the audience and offered insight about the Holocaust from a first-hand account. She had come to the United States in 1959 and has been educating people about the Holocaust since.
I think I have a comparison of strength more than other people. Mm-hmm. You sort of tell yourself, if you could do that, you should be able to handle that. And this is also very much when I speak in schools where students have issues, mm-hmm. and they come out saying, if she could do this, I could do that.
Quinnipiac's interactive digital design program is moving from one school to another this year, but not everyone is excited about the move. Tom Albanese has more on the story.
There are currently 22 majors for undergraduate students at the College of Arts and Sciences, but soon that number will go to 21. The interactive digital design program is officially moving to the School of Communications.
That will happen over the course of the next year and will be in place by the fall of 2015.
Dean of the School of Communications, Lee Camlett, believes that adding this program will be very beneficial.
I think this is a perfect marriage of the kinds of skills that students need with the kind of skills that industry is demanding.
The interactive digital design program consists of graphics, web design, and other visual components. One word means so much to Camlett for this program to be added.
The buzzword in communications in industry is convergence. Everything's coming together.
Changes are underway here at the School of Communications. They have been happening for some time now, but some IDD students were still caught off guard.
I don't know much. I think one of my professors mentioned it in class a couple weeks ago, but that's all I ever really knew.
Other students, including Hannah Schindler, knew about the move and are excited for the new opportunities.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to create more opportunities, like with the communication, since IDD is a little bit confused between being an arts and science or like being an art major or being a communications major, but I think the move will be good.
There is a total of 60 majors within the IDD program that will make its way to the new school. But before it becomes official, there are still decisions that have to be made.
Still, there's a lot of logistical things that have to fall into place, and there'll be some very minor structural changes that will have to be made in the school itself, and those things all have to be worked out before we can actually make the transition happen.
Tom Albanese, Q30 News.
Quinnipiac School of Communications welcomed former ABC News anchor Charles Gibson to campus as he moderated a panel about health and the digital age on Wednesday, November 12th. The panel included the senior medical contributor for ABC News, a medical reporter from WTNH in New Haven, and Quinnipiac's director of the Global Health Program for the School of Medicine. Students, faculty, and local residents attended the panel and were able to ask the experts questions regarding how the media covers health stories in 2014. Q30 was able to ask Gibson what his best advice is for people who consume news and why he wanted to moderate this panel.
People need to seek out sources that are objective. And objectivity is not necessarily in fashion these days in news, because ratings or numbers of viewers or numbers of people that will hit on your source is everything. Getting reliable medical information from the media is really important, and so panels like this I think take on a greater importance than just one more symposium or one more dog and pony show.
Faculty, staff, and students can participate in Quinnipiac's first ever online auction. The auction will work similar to eBay, but all proceeds will go to the United Way charity, which helps people receive essentials they need each day. Items available to students include President Leahy's parking spot for a week in the spring, a semester's worth of on-campus laundry services, plus others. Bidding begins on November 10th and runs until the 15th.
Still to come on the Q30 Newscast, a lot of performances are being held this month at Quinnipiac.
And we have the top stories in world news along with your full forecast. Anna?
And with winter fast approaching, will we be able to escape the snow for one more week? Find out coming up on your full Q30 weather forecast.
The Q30 Newscast is presented by Joya Spa and Salon. For more information, visit www.joyadayspa.com.
Wake up, Quinnipiac! It's the morning after! Hey! Come on, guys, it's time for TMA! Let's go! What's the morning after? Mondays at 10, only on Q30!
Welcome to Joya Spa and Salon in Hamden. Whether you want a new look or the perfect wedding day hair, come to us for complete hair and nail care, cuts, styles, updos, extensions, and beautiful dimensional hair color, as well as manis and pedis, acrylics, gels, and shellac. Treat yourself to a facial, a peel, or microdermabrasion. Relax with a variety of massage techniques, including Swedish and hot stone massage. Joya Spa and Salon. Call today.
Okay, so highlights for this week look pretty solid. Men's hockey versus Yale, men's basketball Iona. Got some pretty nice graphics too, some OTSs, full screens.
Yeah, and I was also thinking for a feature idea, we could do something about head coach Ram Pecknell from the men's ice hockey squad with the new year and new players.
Yes, that definitely sounds good. Yeah.
Young team. Wait a minute. Where's Mike?
What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late.
What are you doing?
What?
Buying a house is a big investment, but in Hamden's, home buyers have something else to invest interest in: how close Quinnipiac students may be to a property. As Sean Clasby shows us, real estate experts are torn as to whether or not Quinnipiac students impact Hamden property values.
It is believed property values in Hamden are decreasing because of Quinnipiac students,
but according to some real estate experts, it is all a myth.
I don't think you can find a direct correlation between communities that have student housing in them and what prices have done, whether they've gone up or they've gone down.
John Kuzo is the owner of a real estate company here in Hamden. He says students generally do not affect how much a house is sold for unless a student house is causing problems.
Unless you're buying a house directly next door or directly across the street where that's obvious, I'm not sure that you can make that blanket statement.
Kuzo claims he and his associates haven't had a problem selling a house next to where Quinnipiac students live.
I can't tell you that student housing in a neighborhood drops the value by 15%. I can't do that, and I think that if anyone told you that they could, I would press them.
Kuzo thinks it would be a waste of time to find out if students actually do cause property values to drop by 15%. However, it seems some realtors are crunching the numbers and are warning their potential buyers not to look at houses next to students.
That she would not show us a house that because the house next door to it had just been sold to someone who was going to rent to students. And she said, I'm not going to show you that house. It's not going to be a good investment because it's not going to maintain its resale value.
Jen Sackel says her home has lost some value since Quinnipiac students moved into her neighborhood. She says the problem is people do not want to live next to students because it makes the property harder to resell. Sean Clasby, Q30 News.
Quinnipiac University's Write 'em Out of Silence improv troupe and sketch comedy group will hold a show on November 19th in the Black Box Theater. The show, titled Improv Too Big to Fail, will start at 9 p.m. and end around 10 p.m. The performance will introduce the new improv troupe, Just Go With It. You can reserve your tickets at the writeamoutofsilence@gmail.com or buy your tickets at the door for $5. Quinnipiac's Theater for Community will perform the play Arms and the Man November 13th to November 15th in Buckman Theater. The play is set during the Serbo-Bulgarian War in 1885. It focuses on Raina Petkoff, who must choose between two men vying for her love. Quinnipiac professor Robert Bresnick is directing the show. Tickets are $10 for students and $15 for general admission. Arms and the Man will be held at 7:30 p.m. on November 13th through the 15th, and then at 2 p.m. on November 16th.
The Student Veteran Organization worked alongside the Student Government Association to bring Veterans Day events to Quinnipiac on November 11th. The day began with a flag-raising ceremony on the quad at 8 a.m., followed by coffee and donuts as part of the Cup of G.I. Joe event. Students were able to sign cards for care packages being sent to troops overseas, as well as donate to the event. The veteran organization's Twitter stated the event raised more than $500, as well as accumulating 600 signed cards and materials for 10 care packages. And the International Business Society hosted its annual International Business Dinner on Monday, November 10th in Burt Conn Court. The event boasted more than 50 types of food from various cultures, along with live dancing from the South Asian Society. Well over 200 people attended the dinner, which was benefiting the Integrated Refugee and Immigrant Services Organization in New Haven. The nonprofit helps relocate refugees in the United States.
From here in Connecticut to across the world, a lot has been going on lately, Taylor.
Let's toss it over to Matthew Sharp for the world news.
Thanks, guys. US-led coalition forces conducted 23 airstrikes against self-proclaimed Islamic State militants in Iraq and Syria this week. Targeted in the strikes were Islamic State-controlled oil refineries in Iraq, as well as multiple strikes against militant positions in and around the Syria-Turkey border town of Kobani. The town has become a test of the coalition's ability to halt the progress of ISIS forces. 3 US Navy sailors in Turkey were assaulted Wednesday by a group of Turkish ultranationalists. Members of the Turkish Youth Union surrounded the sailors before chanting anti-American sentiments, throwing orange paint on them, and attempting to pull bags over their heads. The US was quick to denounce the attack, and Washington has since responded, saying that this attack would not degrade US-Turkish relations. Iranian and Russian officials have reached a deal regarding the construction of 8 more nuclear power plants in Iran. This news comes as Western powers are continuing to struggle with Iran over a fast-approaching November 24th deadline concerning Iran's use of atomic research. Iranian and Russian officials stress that the plants are for purely peaceful purposes. However, NATO members refuse to lift sanctions until this can be fully verified. A Nigerian woman has detonated a bomb vest in a suicide attack against a Nigerian teacher training college. This is the second such attack on an educational institution in this week. No one has since claimed responsibility for the attacks that have left nearly 50 people dead. However, Islamic militant group Boko Haram has used female suicide bombers before to target schools they believe are spreading Western ideas. And finally, an ESA lander has touched down on Comet 67P after traveling for more than 10 years across our solar system. The Philae lander detached from its mothership, the Rosetta space probe, early on the morning of November 12th, and confirmation of the touchdown was received shortly after 11 a.m. The lander's mission on the surface is to trace the origins of water and possibly life in our galaxy. That's all for World News. I'm Matt Sharp. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Matt. And when we return to the Q30 Newscast, Madeline Holloway has the latest in entertainment news.
And we'll take a look at the cold weather coming with Anna Sackel. Anna?
Well, temperatures are dropping all around the nation. Stay tuned to find out more coming up on your full Q30 weather forecast.
Welcome to A Sheer Sensation, North Haven's premier cosmetology service, located at 140 Washington Avenue, minutes from Hamden. We offer an array of services, from basic cuts and colors to lash extensions and formaldehyde-free keratin treatments. We also provide hair chalk and styling for men. When you spend $60, your Q card will get you 10% off. Call us at 203-239-6477 to make your next appointment at A Sheer Sensation.
We are your source for entertainment news.
And we have a back to his Hollywood.
This is my mom.
We are your source for entertainment news.
Good evening, Quinnipiac. So weathers are dropping down all around the nation. As you can see, the jet stream is dropping really low. Even down in Texas, it's 36 degrees. Although in California, it's 64 degrees, so that's pretty good. And up here in New York and the Connecticut area where we are, it's actually pretty warm. It's 55 degrees, so that's good. And if we look at Connecticut's radar, that's not Connecticut's radar, but the men's ice hockey team is pretty awesome. I've been to some of their games. That's a lot of fun. Here we go. So there's really nothing going on when it comes to storms or weather fronts. It's pretty blank, so that looks pretty good for us. Hopefully there will be no rain or snow. I know a lot of people were afraid about that. So if we look at the weather for Connecticut, you're going to see that it's pretty much the same everywhere. It's about 53 in New Haven, 51 in Hartford, and 54 in Norwich. So for tonight's weather, it's going to be 46 degrees, mostly cloudy with winds north-northwest at 9 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, it's going to be 50 degrees, partly cloudy, winds northeast at 8 miles per hour. And for the 7-day forecast, it's going to be pretty much the same all throughout the week. It's going to be in the 40s. It's going to drop to about 27 for a low on Saturday, which is not fun, and it's going to be pretty cloudy, but by next Wednesday it's going to clear up, but still going to be cold. So that's it for your full Q30 weather forecast. I'm Anna Sackel. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Anna. I'm still afraid that we're going to get snow.
I really hope we don't.
Way too early. Some places across the country we're getting like 1.5 feet this week.
Not ready for that yet.
It's crazy. But let's get away from the winter and let's talk about some entertainment, because there's some interesting entertainment news that's been happening recently.
Yes, the White House is announcing some special nominees.
And there's new buzz surrounding the Hunger Games franchise for any fans out there.
So for all that and more, let's toss it over to Madeline Holloway for the latest in our entertainment news.
Thanks, guys. The White House has announced the 19 recipients of the Medal of Freedom. The nominees include Meryl Streep, Stevie Wonder, Tom Brokaw, Ethel Kennedy, John Dingell, and Marlo Thomas. The medal is the nation's highest civilian honor and goes to the people who have contributed to the security or national interests of the United States. The award also honors those who have worked toward world peace or to cultural or other important accomplishments. President Obama says he is looking forward to presenting the awards at the White House on November 24th. And The Hunger Games is making its way back to a theater near you for its third installment, Mockingjay Part 1. Stars Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson took to the red carpet in London to promote the film alongside Julianne Moore and Donald Sutherland. The highly anticipated film will be in American theaters November 21st. And speaking of the Hunger Games, actress Jennifer Lawrence said in a recent interview she will never be joining Twitter. The actress's reasoning is the internet has scorned her, and she does not like using technology. Lawrence says if anyone sees an Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook account with her name on it, they should know that it is a false account. And TMZ is reporting Joan Rivers' death was likely caused by incorrect procedures during her throat surgery. The Department of Health and Services examined the center where Rivers was receiving a procedure and found there was no record of the staff weighing Rivers before administering the anesthetic used in the procedure. The report also states Rivers received twice the dosage she should have. Officials say Rivers only consented to an upper endoscopy procedure, but Dr. Gwen Korovin also did a laryngoscopy. The doctors also proved to be negligent because they did not notice Rivers' oxygen levels dropping dramatically. And the last of the original judges of American Idol is leaving. Randy Jackson has announced he will not be returning for the show's 14th season. Jackson was a judge on the show for 12 years. Last season, Jackson acted as a mentor rather than a judge. Ryan Seacrest is now the only remaining on-air cast member from the original seasons. And that's it for your entertainment update. I'm Madeline Holloway. Now back to Taylor and Liv at the desk.
Still to come on the Q30 Newscast, the new Freedom Tower is complete, and we'll tell you how Quinnipiac students feel about it.
And we'll go to Dylan Fearon to find out how the Bobcats fared in this week's games.
We'll be right back.
The Q30 Newscast is presented by Joya Spa and Salon. For more information, visit www.joyadayspa.com.
Okay, so highlights for this week look pretty solid. Men's hockey versus Yale, men's basketball Iona. Got some pretty nice graphics too, some OTSs, full screens.
Yeah, and I was also thinking for a feature idea, we could do something about head coach Rand Pecknold and the men's ice hockey squad with the new year and new players.
Yes, that definitely sounds good. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Where's Mike?
What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late.
What are you doing?
What? Freshman.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
Wake up, Quinnipiac! It's the morning after! Hey! Come on, guys, it's time for TMA! Let's go! What's the morning after? Mondays at 10, only on Q30!
The cold weather is certainly carrying winter sports in with it.
Dylan Fearon is here with the latest Quinnipiac athletic news.
Guys, this upcoming weekend is action-packed for Quinnipiac, but last week was also very busy, and that's where we're going to start, as the field hockey team, who just scraped into the MAC tournament, traveled to New Jersey to take on the Rider Bronx in the semifinals. Bobcats came out flat and found themselves down 2-0 just 6 minutes into the game. With just 5.5 minutes to go, sophomore Leah Dietrichs found Angie King, who netted her second goal of the season, cutting the Rider lead to just 2-1. But right after, the Bronx had an insurance goal and went on to win the semifinal matchup 3-1. Rider would then go on to lose to Monmouth in the MAC championship game 6-1. And the men's hockey team extended its winning streak to 4 games, to shutting out nationally ranked Colgate and then Cornell this past weekend 5-0 and 1-0 respectively. Goaltender Michael Garteg was a force in the net for the Bobcats, saving 37 shots over the weekend. Garteg was also named ECAC Hockey Goalie of the Week, as the Bobcats moved to number 20 in the national poll. Quinnipiac faces 2 road tests this weekend as they take on Union on Friday and RPI on Saturday. Puck will drop at 7 p.m. on both nights. This weekend looks to be a crazy one for Quinnipiac athletics. First, the men's soccer team hosts Fairfield in the semifinals of the MAC tournament on Friday at 1 p.m. Bobcats enter the matchup with the Stags on a 12-game unbeaten streak, not having lost since September 17th against Holy Cross. Quinnipiac is the 1 seed in the tournament, winning the conference regular season for the 3rd straight year. The other semifinal features the Monmouth Hawks and the Iona Gales. Championship game will be played on Sunday. This weekend also marks the start of the college basketball season. Both the Quinnipiac men's and women's basketball teams play this weekend, starting with the men. The Tom Moore squad faces rival Yale on Friday as part of the Connecticut 6 Classic, an event to showcase the 6 Division I mid-major basketball teams in Connecticut. First game features Fairfield and Central Connecticut at 3, followed by Quinnipiac Yale at 5:30, and then to close out the event, Sacred Heart takes on Hartford at 8. All games will be played at the TD Bank Sports Center. Tricia Fabry's women's basketball team kicks off their 2014-15 campaign with a home battle against Army. Tip-off is set for 2 p.m. on Saturday as the Bobcats start their long journey trying to make the NCAA tournament for the 2nd time in 3 years. Other games going on this weekend for the Bobcats. The volleyball team hosts Canisius and Niagara at Burke Concourt on Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m. And the women's ice hockey team looks to continue its hot start to the season, taking on RPI and Union on Friday at 7 and at 4 on Saturday. Guys, as you can see, a lot going on in the sports world for Quinnipiac. It really should be a great weekend. As always, like and follow Q30 Sports on Facebook and Twitter for updates on all QU athletic news. For sports, I'm Dylan Fearon. Liv, Taylor, back to you.
Thank you, Dylan. Years after the 9/11 attacks, the Freedom Tower is allowing people to keep the memory of the World Trade Centers alive in a new way.
Our own Anna Sackel took a step away from the weather and talked to students to see how they feel about the reopening of One World Trade Center.
The One World Trade Center is opening its doors for the first time 13 years after the terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers. Over 175 tenants and employees moved into the building last week. Construction took over 8 years. Many Quinnipiac students are from the New York City area and remember 9/11.
I think we all know what happened there, and we all have our memories of the World Trade Center. But I think it's good. It's kind of a healing process. We'll never quite get over it because it was such a horrific thing to happen.
The Freedom Tower opening is helping many students remember the incident in a new way.
Well, I mean, looking at it from an international perspective, I think that's now a place in New York City where tourists will go and visit, and for those who are American, it'll always be a remembrance site for 9/11.
I think it's nice for people who maybe lost someone in it. They can go and kind of reminisce and think about them in a good way, not in a bad way.
While many see the opening as a way of remembrance, the building has also been a topic of controversy.
You probably have two sides of people who think it's a good idea to step over the problem, and you have the people who are okay, we don't want to forget it.
I don't think it's ever really going to change anything. It's definitely going to help new people remember why it happened and how we can prevent it.
According to the building's website, the owners say it will bring back a sense of community and are excited for the positive effect it will have on the nation. Anna Sackel, Q30 News.
And that'll do it for this week's edition of the Q30 Newscast.
I just want to say to Taylor, thank you very much for being on air with me this semester. This is Taylor's last official main anchoring show with me and on Q30. For now, hopefully we'll be seeing you next semester, but from everyone at Q30, we just want to say thank you for being such an amazing executive producer, and thank you for being on air with me, because I had so much fun, and I'll miss you.
You are the best co-anchor in the world.
Oh,
and though this is the last official one, I'm going to find a way
You'll be back. We know you'll be back, but we just
But-
wanted to say thank you from everyone at the Newscast.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Stay connected with our news team throughout the rest of the week by visiting our Facebook page and following us on Twitter at Q30 News.
And be on the lookout for the Q30 News Weekly Digest, which airs this Friday afternoon. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good night.